Hey guys, it's Christy, and today I'm back with another segment that I'm doing on the emotional scale. The last segment, what I did was I represented the bottom of the emotional scale with the devil and the top with the sun. So in today's episode, I guess, in this series, I wanted to introduce the emotional scale, which is in the book Ask and It Is Given by Esther and Jerry Hicks on page 114. And you'll see there a scale 1 through 22. And I'm sure you can access this online as well. And so what I wanted to do was start at the bottom. And I'm still going to utilize tarot cards, the visual representation, which is the Nine of Swords today, to represent number 22 on the emotional scale, which is fear, grief, depression, despair, and powerlessness. So what I wanted to do first is talk about the imagery of the Nine of Swords and how it pertains to number 22 on the emotional scale. So as you can see, there's a very black background, which to me indicates nighttime, a person in bed, swords on the wall. Now the swords represent our thoughts. Oops, there we go. The swords represent thoughts. And as you can see, instead of resting, this person has their head in their hands. They're awake when they should be sleeping. And they look very much in despair. But one of the things that you'll recognize in this card is that this person is in no real danger. The swords are mounted on the wall. There's no physical danger to this person. And to me, that means that what they are in despair about is the thoughts that they're thinking. They're overwhelmed with, probably negative thoughts. And that's causing them to be in despair or in depression. And so I think the representation here indicates that while we are feeling depressed, anxious, in despair, we can change our thoughts and change that situation. Because that is the only thing that is taking place in this card, is an overwhelmment of negative thoughts and of fearful thoughts. So again, just like in the representation in the devil card, which I use to represent the bottom of the emotional scale. Yes, these people are in chains, but they are chains that are very loose. They could lift them right from their necks and not be in bondage anymore. And so the bondage is of their own making. So in the Nine of Swords, I would say the same thing is true. This person does not have to be in this state, but they will have to get control of these negative thoughts. So I thought that we could draw a card from the well-being deck to give us, okay, that came out really fast, to give us some advice on what to do if we're in this part of the emotional scale. And the answer is, I can relax into my natural well-being. That is so perfect. And it popped right out. Okay. This is something that I practice as well. When I find myself in overwhelmment because I've made too much work for myself, or I've been thinking too many negative thoughts, I start to back off and I start to relax. Because in that state, I can reach for a better feeling. So, and that's one of the points of the emotional scale too. So, if you find yourself at number 22, the goal is not to leap from 22 to 1, because that is not realistic. So the goal is to make your way up a couple of notches. And so if you were to make your way up from 22 to say 20, or 19 to 20 would be rage and jealousy. Those feelings, while we think they are, bad feelings, and we don't want to stay there long, they do feel better than being in despair and depression. So maybe find a way to move yourself up into anger and And like I said, you don't want to stay there long. You want to find a way to make your way higher and higher up the scale step by step, because 22 to 1 is too big of a leap. But 22 to 19, way more doable. And according to the law of attraction and the universe's message to us, one of the ways to do that is to relax into our natural well-being. So the essence of all that you appreciate is constantly flowing into and creating your reality. That's a good point. The essence of all that you appreciate is constantly flowing into and creating your reality. So the first step here is to find appreciation. So when you're in this Nine of Swords space, find one small thing to appreciate. We can always find something. And focus your energy on that to make your way up the scale. As you appreciate, your state of appreciation opens more channels that allow you more for which to feel appreciation. And I love that, because you're feeling depression, anxiety, and despondence, despair, but you could find one small thing to appreciate. We call it a positive aspect. So find one small thing that you can think about in appreciation, and before you know it, more and more things can flow in so that you can lay down and relax and rest. So that'll be our first assignment from the universe, is to find things to appreciate. Focus there, and before you know it, you'll find more things to appreciate. So I'm going to draw one last card, which popped right out as well. And this is an oracle card. And we got inner peace. Okay, that's what we want to reach for here. We want to relax. So we want to come out of this Nine of Swords by relaxing into our natural well-being, by finding things to appreciate and finding inner peace. And our card says, cultivate inner calm through meditation or mindful practices. So the universe has given us a clear roadmap to make our way up the emotional scale from a Nine of Swords perspective. We are going to find something to appreciate, and then more things will come. And the way that we can also help cultivate that inner peace and calm is through meditation or a mindfulness practice. So you can either meditate or find some other way to bring yourself into the present moment in a positive way. You could spend time in nature. I like to just go lay in the grass and absorb the sun, watch the clouds in the sky or the birds. That's a good mindfulness practice. So I would like for you to try these things out, and maybe even meditate on the thing that you found to appreciate. So a mantra that you could use, or an affirmation, I guess, you could use is, I let go and have faith. So when you are in moments of despair, depression, feeling, that low on the scale, find something to appreciate, but remind yourself, I let go and have faith. Letting go of those thoughts is so helpful. So start practicing these things and let me know how it makes you feel to find that one thing to appreciate, or to take 5 minutes to meditate, or spend some time in other mindfulness practice. And how does that improve your your standing on the emotional scale? How far up can you make your way? And how long can you stay there? So thank you so much for being here today. I'm really enjoying this series. I'm going to do more spots on the emotional scale. We'll make our way up the emotional scale utilizing the tarot and its imagery, getting advice from the universe, and move our way up the scale together. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Cheers, guys.